Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mystery Sports Podcast. Breaking news: Casemiro will leave Manchester United at the end of the season. I'm a huge advocate for Casemiro. I adore Casemiro. I think he's the best CDM to ever play the game. There's obviously people who argue Rodri and things like that, but I do think Casemiro is better. Um, what a player Casemiro is. He's a fantastic player, and in his prime under Real Madrid, he was one of the best defensive midfielders there. Obviously, he was Busquets was at Barcelona. Now, obviously, he came to United, and people argue with him or Rodri. And obviously, being a United fan, and I'll always go Casemiro. I think he's a fantastic player. I love Casemiro. Like I said, he's played 4 seasons now at Man United. He's now 34. So, we signed him, aging Casemiro, should we say, at probably coming out of his prime. For his first season under Ten Hag, the 22-23 season. I think no, was it 20? Yeah, that season he was fantastic. I remember I was at the game against Liverpool where he was unveiled as a signing. I remember in that stadium you could get a sense of hope and some sort of like we signed a world class midfielder here. And, he didn't disappoint really that first season, winning the Carabao Cup. He was so influential for Ten Hag's team and, even for Ruben Amorim and obviously now Michael Carrick. I think he will be a very influential player, and you know how well he wins that ball and just how amazing he is as a defensive decided midfielder. We also know that he is aging, and there are some negatives towards his game, how slow he is, and obviously he's not as quick as he used to be. But that is football at the end of the day, and players will slow down, especially when you're in that CDM midfield. You need to be everywhere, a bit like in N'Golo Kante. You need to be everywhere and to cover all blades of grass. And unfortunately, Casemiro has obviously not got that same energy and pace that he had when he was much younger, probably the first season at United and, um, when he was at Real Madrid. Playing 146 games for the club, it's a fantastic. He will obviously get 150 for the remaining 4 months that he has to play for United. Scoring 21 goals to date. That's fantastic from obviously a midfielder in terms of more defensive sided midfield. I think that's amazing from Casemiro. And, just some of the goals that we have seen from Casemiro. We've seen like a fantastic goal last year against Leicester in the Carabao Cup outside. It was miles that, wasn't it? And he just goes there and the massive headers, scoring in the Carabao Cup final, the 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 goal that started off United, well, the 2-0 lead, didn't it? Rashford scored the second, you know, winning the Carabao Cup, winning the FA Cup in 2024 under Eric Ten Hag. He was a vital part of that, really. And, I think Casemiro is, I think he's a very passionate player, and you definitely see that. And, in one of his quotes that he said, "I will carry Manchester United with me throughout my entire life." I think Casemiro is one of those players like you play for the club, but you also die for the club. And, him, Bruno, and Lissandro Martinez, they're all that kind of similar mentality. I think he's very, very good to look up to, and the likes of Kobe Mainu and Toby Collier, obviously who's currently on loan now, could look up to him and kind of like this is how you should be playing, the mindset that you should be taking into a game or training or whatever it may be. Casemiro is a fantastic advocate, not advocate, fantastic role model. And he goes on to say in his statement, "From the first day that I walked out at this beautiful stadium, I felt the passion of Old Trafford and the love that I now share with our supporters for this special club. It's not time to say goodbye. There are many more memories to create during the next 4 months. We'll still have a lot to fight together. My focus will, as always, remain on giving giving my everything to help our club to succeed." Obviously, it's good to hear that. We won't be winning any silverware this year unless United won every single game of the Premier League, which won't happen. That's unrealistic. But it's still good to see there that he's probably what what I would think he's referring to is that fight for the Champions League and making sure United qualify for that Champions League. I think what Casemiro would love to do is to go out with a bang and make sure that Man United have Champions League football. You know, knowing Casemiro will probably score a couple of goals in that period of time. Well, the 4 months that he's got left. His final home game will be against Nottingham Forest, and that's his probably farewell to United. And a good luck to Casemiro, obviously in the future wherever he may go. I don't really know where he's going to go. My speculation would be that he probably goes Saudi or go return back to Brazil. That's something that probably that sounds to obviously Casemiro, and I wish him well for the future. And we thank him and applaud him for whatever he for what he's done and achieved at Manchester United. Because it's not United isn't the best place to be in as a player because you're not going to be challenging for the Premier League and Champions League. You're fighting for the FA Cup, getting Champions League, fighting for the Europa League. So, I think Casemiro's done a fantastic job, and hopefully he can end the season really well. And I think he will. I think he will end the season well. He does look like a crucial player for United currently, and you know, just for moving on to the summer and what we do after Casemiro, I think this summer, as the owners have been saying, as Glinios have been saying, that it will be to go big for a midfielder, and it could be Elliot Anderson, it could be Adam Wharton. We don't know who it will be yet, but we wait in due course. But yeah, that is everything for today's video. I know it's a bit short. Tomorrow I will be doing the preview for Arsenal versus Manchester United. A couple of new things that I will be testing out there, so make sure you tune in for that. If you're new here, please subscribe, like the video, and share it to everyone. Catch you all in a bit.